Welcome to The Nest. We are a community of expecting and postpartum people, and we offer classes, yoga for pregnancy and beyond, as well as education. And today I have a friend and colleague, Christa West from South Florida, Placenta Services. And I'm going to ask her a few questions. She's also a home birth midwife, but today I want to ask you about placenta services. So first of all, thank you for joining me and making the time.
Thank you for me.
And I have few people asking me, and honestly, I don't know all the benefits of placenta encapsulation. I know some of them. I know that 13 years ago, I chose to do that with my firstborn because I heard it was supposed to be helpful with postpartum depression. And at the time, I was worried. I didn't have kids and I didn't know what to expect. So I did it. But I never felt like, I never felt any kind of depression or even sadness, except a little bit of weirdness the first couple of days. So I can't tell. When people ask me, did it help you? I say, I honestly don't know. But since then, I heard plenty of other benefits and I read a lot of other articles, but I want to hear it from you. So when my student says, why should I even encapsulate my placenta? Not that I'm trying to convince them, but what information can I give them?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that's most people's question when I first speak with them is what are the benefits of placenta encapsulation? And of course, it's kind of a tricky thing because there's not much research done on placenta encapsulation. It's all anecdotal, which means it's just going based off of each person's experience. I've been doing this for about 12 years now, give or take, and the majority of my clients tell me that they experience an increase in energy, an increase in their mood, for the better, of course. And then it's a whole food type supplement similar to liver. So you will experience an increase in your milk supply simply because you're taking a supplement that is very rich in nutrients. Essentially, the placenta is obviously what maintains the pregnancy, but it also contains all of the hormones of pregnancy. So your body sort of builds up a tolerance to these hormones throughout the pregnancy. And most people have, beautiful, amazing pregnancies, of course, emotional, but usually these hormones bring everybody to an amazing high throughout the 9-10 months of being pregnant. And when the placenta is discarded from the body after birth, those hormones take a drastic dip. And that dip is actually really good for one thing in particular, and that's milk supply. But other than that, the initiation of milk supply is specifically what it's for, not overall milk supply, just that initiation and breast milk production. But other than that, your body kind of goes into shock. About 80% of women have what we call the baby blues. Baby blues are different than postpartum depression, so don't be completely scared by the fact that 80% of women have the baby blues. That's the first 8 days within birth when women are just kind of like crying at absolutely nothing and they don't even know what they're crying at. It's also exhaustion, but that contributes to the baby blues. Postpartum depression obviously has a much lower rate, but the placenta pills basically kind of reintroduce those hormones back into the body at a very low rate, much lower than what it was during pregnancy. But it kind of just helps with everything. It helps kind of wean you off of those hormones rather than just stripping you of them completely.
Mm-hmm. Nice, interesting. So you don't start, so now you actually made me think, because you don't start with them immediately after giving birth, because you're saying it's important to have that initiation of breastfeeding.
Absolutely. So that once those hormones drop, that's what stimulates the production of milk supply. So we want to make sure that your milk is fully in prior to starting the placenta pills, because we don't want it to inhibit the initial production of milk.
Got it. So why do people, I know some people do a shake and they take a piece of a placenta pretty immediately after. Is there a reason for that?
My thought on that is there's very specific benefits, mainly for like decrease in bleeding. But it's such a small piece that I don't think it would make that big of a difference. I mean, I myself did placenta smoothies after I had my twins, and I started mine within, I don't know, about 18 hours of birth, and I did one every day. And my milk still came in right at 48 hours. And for having a C-section, that's actually really, really quick to get your milk in.
Hmm.
And I attribute it to the placenta smoothies, but you know, who knows really, because they were my
Right.
first baby. So it's hard to say.
Right. I'm in the same boat. I didn't know the difference. I mean, I felt
Hmm.
great, but I didn't know if it was because of taking placenta pills or just because I feel great.
Exactly.
One right. One more question that I have is, can everybody encapsulate their placenta? Is there somebody that
Women
cannot or should not?
Women that are HIV positive should not encapsulate their placentas. Other than that, most everything else is just fine. I always get the question of GBS, but it's totally fine. You're getting antibiotics in labor most times, and even if you don't get the antibiotics in labor for whatever reason, I have a 24-hour dehydration process at 160 degrees, and it kills off all bacteria at that point.
Got it. And then is there any other way to take it if people don't know how to swallow pills?
Sure. I definitely had women that break open the capsules and put them into a smoothie or into like some yogurt and mix it in. Um, I haven't personally done the dried form, so I can't tell you how potent it is. I know that you wouldn't taste it in a smoothie for sure, but I don't know if you would taste it in yogurt. But I have had a handful of clients over the years that have preferred to do it that way.
Okay. And then one last question, because I'm sure people are wondering, are there any risks?
I think the
So
biggest
I know the
risk
benefit.
I think the biggest risk is cross contamination and trusting the provider that you choose to do your encapsulation process to make sure that it's in a clean space. People commonly ask me, how do I know it's sterile? There is nothing sterile about this process. There's just like I tell people, there's nothing sterile about birth when you're having a home birth. But with that being said, I do completely sanitize my space. I have a designated works. I'm so sorry, my phone keeps going off. I have a designated workspace in my home where I only do placentas, and make sure that I clean and disinfect all of the equipment prior to and after using the equipment. I think that's the biggest thing, cleanliness. And obviously, everybody has this question too, making sure you're getting your placenta. So just being on the same page with the encapsulation specialist or provider, whichever you decide on, and making sure that all of that is safe.
Okay, good. So I think I have my answers for my questions. Also, is it something that you ship or is it just locally? I mean, what honestly don't know.
I only do local placentas. Um, I have had people that come here from like Key West, for instance, or Key Largo to have their baby. So they happen to be here for the delivery, and then I ship the capsules. But as far as shipping a placenta through the mail, I don't think that's a great idea.
No. Right, that's what I was thinking. You have to keep it on ice, right?
Exactly, exactly. Yeah.
So basically look for someone locally that does it for you. And then we'll share your information and you do which area, Broward County, or do you do also Miami and Palm Beach?
I do about a 15-mile radius from my home, which is in Pembroke Pines. So I do mainly Broward, some Dade if it's like North Dade, but no South Miami and no North. I guess it would be Southern Palm Beach. I don't serve either.
Right. So how would people find a placenta encapsulation specialist? Just on Google?
I think the best way to go is to just Google it. Yeah, just Google placenta encapsulation, and anyone who is providing those services in that area should pop up.
Okay, awesome. All right, beautiful. So I will share your information for anyone interested with your email, website, and phone number. And then hopefully they can find someone great and clean in their area. So I want to thank you. I will want to interview you again for home birth, because I think a lot of people have no clue and would love to know some more information on giving birth at home, especially now during the pandemic. I had a lot of people asking me about it. So I think it's good to prepare well. Wonderful.
Awesome.
So yeah, thank you for joining me. And I will see you soon.
Okay, take care.